am really hoping to get a ring at the end of this trip.
Oh, we are just nice friends.
If what Vanja was waiting for is a confirmation that this is the man she's going to marry, I don't think she got it this episode. And this goes for the producers. If we're going to be holding Niles to this standard of accountability, I would like to see every single other cast member be held accountable to the standard that you're also holding Niles. Welcome to Chisme Corner, guys. My name's Karen, and today we're going to be talking about the latest episode of Before the 90 Days. As always, before we keep going, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. And at the end of the video, you can let me know your thoughts, and more importantly, if you disagree with me on anything. Bozo has finally decided to pick up his phone, so Vanja is a little bit more relaxed about the situation and she doesn't feel as stressed. Even though she missed her flight, she's like, you know what, I'm fine. Now, when we check in with Bozo, he tells us that
Talking with my mom made
me so much more anxious
about meeting Vanja.
and one of the reasons he got so anxious about the situation is because he's unemployed and he hasn't shared that with Vanja. And also the fact that, at least in my perspective, they are not at the same level emotionally, financially, educationally, in many other ways. And he's also sharing that he started to drift away from Vanja because he was scared about telling her all these things. But he has now realized that, you know, she's a keeper and that she's a gem. And of course you have realized that because you will be a fool not to.
I'm so happy, excited. We just can't wait to see her.
I don't know about you, but I don't sense any excitement coming from him. If this is the type of excitement that I'm going to get out of someone for the first time when I see them, I don't want it. You can keep it. Remember, Vanja is coming here under the impression that she's going to get a ring out of the situation, and Bozo doesn't even want to call this a relationship. Comes into the kitchen where his mom and his aunt are, and he comes with this potted plan that he is going to give Vanja. And where did he get it from? Because he has no money, right? He got it from the dumpster. So he's gonna give that to her.
She got to airplane all that way from the United States. I actually feel like I don't deserve it.
If you feel like you don't deserve it, then at least you can do things to make that person understand that you appreciate what they did for you, that you treasure all those efforts that they have made to be here with you. And let's see if he's actually going to be doing those things, because now he's on his way to the airport. He's going to pick up Vanja. Vanja is all over him and she's hugging him. I'm pretty sure that she was hoping for a kiss, but that did not happen.
Huggable.
Oh, thank you. I should hug often.
Bozo seems to be a little bit more reserved when it comes to, you know, affection. And Vanja is the complete opposite. She is head over heels seeing this man. She's biting her lips. She's hugging him. She's clinging onto him. She is giggling every 2 seconds. You can see how excited she is. And Bozo is stuttering. He doesn't want to hug. He just seems not to be that type. Vanja actually really loves the plan that Bozo got because she does not like flowers. She thinks that they die easily, which yes, they do. And she prefers plants that, you know, she can actually treasure and take care of. I don't necessarily see a problem with Bozo giving her the plant. I think more than anything, it was the fact that he got it from a dumpster. I think he should have just kept that to himself and not told anyone about it. It would have come off more thoughtful.
Do you have to bend down to hug a little bit?
No, this is like
what are you talking about?
size hug.
This is when Bozo asked her if she got a lot of sleep, because he actually has a day planned for them right after this. I don't know about you guys, but if I arrive with 3 hours of sleep, the last thing I want to do is to go out to do something.
I knew that Vanja has biggest energy, and in person
She's like, I expected to be unbelievable presence.
And he already knows that she probably wants to do something and spend time with him. So I do appreciate that he took the time to listen to her and understand what she does like. so they can do something together.
Want him to feel comfortable. He's very old school, and actually that's what I love about him because
So she's going to let him take the lead. I think in those relationships where you know that you're not as affectionate as the other person, you should always let the least affectionate person take the lead. You don't want to overdo it, especially when they have already shared with you that they're just not like that. So they're going to a class to learn how to make soparnik. I think that's how you say it. If I didn't say it correctly, sorry.
We are making soparnik. Soparnik contains Swiss chard and spinach mostly.
And while they're cooking, Vanja is cracking jokes. When you cook this, that means that you're ready for marriage, husband material, all these jokes. And Bozo is serious.
I love it.
He's just thinking about how he is not even thinking about marriage. He's not even thinking about a relationship just yet. This is when Vanja turns around to a couple that's right next to them. And she's like, oh, how long have you guys been together? And they tell them, I think it was 2 years. And then they ask them how they met each other.
Online.
Library.
Online.
In church.
Online library.
Online library in church.
I don't know if they're ashamed to admit that they met on Tinder. Like, it's not that big of a deal. Just say it. A lot of people meet on dating apps. I don't think it's that weird, but both of them are like cracking jokes about the situation.
Are you like official or maybe something in between or?
Oh, we are just nice friends.
Vanja right away is like, no, why would I be coming all the way over here from Orlando just for a friend? That would have never happened. And here is where I'm just like, girl, did you guys not talk about your relationship status? Because Bozo is under the impression that they're just friends and that they're meeting for the first time.
This is a lot more than that. This is pursuing a potential forever connection.
And to save it, Bozo cracks a joke of, oh my God, no, we're just married. I left my ring in the car. And Vanja is like, what the heck? Like, I thought we were in a relationship. What does he mean? Like, I know he likes to joke around, but this is not a situation to joke around. And I think that's also one of my concerns, that Bozo tends to joke around a lot, especially when they're in serious situations. And I understand if that's the way that you cope with things, and maybe that's just who you are, but there has to be a time and a place for everything.
I'm choosing not to bring this up because, I'm hopeful. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding.
They also didn't talk about if Bozo is going to be staying with her, but she doesn't want to be pushy about the situation, so she's not really going to ask him about it. She's going to suggest it, but she's not going to push him into something that he doesn't want to do.
She's so dear to me. I appreciate her, but I also don't want to make huge step into the dark.
Bozo says that after the class, he understands that, Vanja wasn't too happy about his response, but in his eyes, he doesn't want to proceed with this relationship until he can see that there is a romantic connection between them.
I'm really, really tired.
There's a beautiful couch available.
Oh, no, thank you so much. I will go.
But Bozo is like, no, we'll see you later. He's like, oh no, I'll see you later. When he leaves, Vanja shares that she wasn't too happy about him leaving. She didn't think that the first day they were going to be here together was going to play out the way it did. So she is disappointed about the situation.
But the way that he was acting in class, I don't even know how to process that.
She's sitting there thinking that she might have made a mistake. She just hopes that Bozo is going to change a little bit of his behavior. And she hopes that maybe, they'll proceed more into a relationship status, more into like an actual couple. But at the same time, you avoided conversations that needed to be had. Like, I think the best time to have those conversations is when it just happened, because everything's fresh. It doesn't seem like both of you were super angry that you guys can't compose your thoughts or words. Both of them have different expectations of what this trip entails. Vanja is under the impression that she's gonna get a ring out of it, while Bozo wants to make sure that they have a physical, emotional connection and chemistry before they continue into anything else. I think a lot of couples should proceed with this type of relationship the way that Bozo is doing it. I'm not a fan of him, but the way that he's approaching the relationship to say, you know, first we need to make sure that we have a real connection, him not sleeping in the same room with her the first night, you know, there wasn't really any kisses or anything like that. I understand why he's doing it that way. And that is all we get for those two. Now let's move on to the next couple.
It turned into the entire family just ganging up on me.
We are back with Chicken Girl and Chidi. Chicken Girl is saying that she got ganged up on, that his family was the one that caused all of this, that she's now here sitting alone in a hotel room, and all because of his...
He let his ways and his false faith come between, and that's where we're sitting.
Ugh. I have shared it in this channel many times that I am not religious, but I do respect other people's religion.
Lexi's father literally just one night just gave me a hug goodbye and never ever came back.
Renee says that she has had a difficult upbringing, and not only difficult upbringing, but also difficult paths with other relationships. One of the other guys that she dated was into drugs. It was just difficult for her, but at the same time, you also have to take some type of accountability of the people that you choose to date. If you chose to date someone that was doing drugs and then are coming here and complaining about their drug use.
I thought Chidi was different. I love him with everything. I've done everything for him.
The fact that you would compare Chidi to a deadbeat father and a drug user. Please, those things don't even cancel each other out.
It was such an unbelievable and unexpected event.
After tonight, Chidi has not been able to really sleep, and now he is telling us that he understands that some of the actions and decisions that he made might contribute to why Renee acted the way she did. However, the way that she treated his family is incredibly unacceptable, and he understands that. He says that he's not gonna take that, but at the same time, you know, he misses Renee. He loves Renee. That we can change. Victoria and her husband walk into the room because they want to talk to Chidi, and they ask Chidi how he feels about what happened and how he feels about his relationship with Renee.
I don't think it's a matter of if I want her back, because that's my utmost desire.
His family is shocked. They're like, can you please explain to us? Can you please elaborate? Because we cannot imagine why you would want someone that has caused you so much pain and has done the things that she did back into your life.
A feeling of affection, but also a feeling of compassion.
It's because she shared her life with him and how unwanted she was and how her relationships didn't work out in the past. And he promised her that he wasn't going to hurt her. And he promised her that he was going to be there for her.
My concern is how easily you could forget the pains you've been through.
Victoria tells him, you know, I worry that because you're in love, you might forget about all the things that you've been through and all the pain that she has put you through.
There is this war mentality that she has. Is you and me are a team against her.
And this is when she asks Chidi if he is willing to give up his family for Renee. Now, I don't think Victoria asked it in a way of she's like, you know, if you go with her, you're not gonna have us. No. She did it in a way of, you have to keep in mind that if you do choose Renee at the end of the day, your relationship with us is going to probably end because of her.
So I would rather let him go and experience it, even though it's very hard thing for me to do.
She would do it. She would do it. And I hate it because I'm not going to get into details, but this episode, specifically Chidi's and Renee's segment, really hit home for me this time around.
I'll still be for him, but I won't stand in the way.
It's definitely a difficult situation because when it comes to family, you might already know that something or someone is not good for them, but there's nothing that you can do, so your hands are tied, and that's exactly how Victoria feels at the moment. She's putting her own desires aside just for Chidi to be happy. We check in with Renee and she's washing clothes on the bathtub. She's talking about her socks smelling good. And then she's saying that, you know, she's been waiting for Chidi and Chidi has not arrived. So she's really thinking about going home. Is she gonna go home? No, she's not.
Over our 5 years together, I have always been the one to forgive her past transgressions.
After he says that, I had already mentioned this in one of my previous videos where Chidi said that this was the first time that Renee has apologized to him. And also right now when he says that he's been the one that always forgives and forgets about all the little things that she does. So I think that is concerning.
I feel sad and I need someone to talk to. Christian is my best friend.
His friend starts asking him how everything has been going on with Renee here. Chidi tells him some of the things that have happened.
She was specifically fixating on my sister.
And how she's been saying a lot of crazy things. He also shares that this behavior that we saw from Renee has been a behavior that she displayed over the phone with Chidi before she got here.
I thought when she used to yell and cuss and shout on phone that...
So this is not something that just came out of nowhere. Chidi thought that she was going to do better, that because they were in person and because she was here, you know, she was trying to make a good impression, she wasn't going to act like a crazy lady, but she did.
Says certain things that are very strange. Like sometimes he talks about demons.
He doesn't really understand why Chidi loves her because of the things that she has said.
After this whole thing,
Yeah.
how do you intend moving on?
Chidi is like, well, I love her. And this is when his friend reaches over the table to him and he's like, how do you intend to deal with her temperament?
Being blind, not being able to see, having someone always yelling on your head.
The last time we saw them, when she was yelling over him and then the producers blinded us to see what Chidi was going through and how he couldn't, you know, he can't see this lady yelling at him in front of his face. I cannot imagine how he feels.
Honestly, I don't think I can put up with that.
When his friend tells Chidi that he needs to let go of Renee, Chidi's like,
you think it's that easy?
I know it's not.
Someone you love, someone you've vowed to.
And his friend is like, no, I don't think it's that easy. But really ask yourself a question. Is this the life that you want to live? Someone that yells at you, someone that can't even have a conversation with you because they're so full of themselves.
Sometimes you just let certain people go because that's the best for the both of you.
You two are not good for one another. As a matter of fact, she is not good for you. And if you love yourself enough and if you have respect for yourself, you won't allow this person to walk into your life and stay in your life. We cut to Renee. And Renee is at the hotel saying that she finally talked to Chidi. And after that, she got a little happy and she went shopping.
It's very silky. It's real soft. And I bought that, obviously, with Chidi in mind.
This is why I also get frustrated with Renee because he has already shared with you that he does not want to be intimate. And the first thing that you do when you hear back from him is to go and buy something that might be tempting to him and talk about how you want him to feel it. You're being sneaky, girl, and I don't like that. So she does say like, oh, it will be a shame if Chidi doesn't get to see it.
Open his eyes big enough to see how much his family has really come between us.
I don't know if she does it on purpose. When she mentions things like that, she's like, oh, I don't know if Chidi's gonna be able to see it. Oh, you're never gonna see me again. Like, is she doing it on purpose to rub it in his face that he can't see? Or is this just part of her vocabulary? Because I would have said something like, you know, it would be a shame if he doesn't get to touch it. It would be a shame if he doesn't get to experience it. But it will be a shame for him not to be able to see it. But that is all we get for those two. Now let's move on to the next couple. Let's talk about Tigersilly and Adnan really quick. And I'm really gonna make this one quick because nothing really happened with them. But I do have some things to say and we're just gonna throw them out there. Adnan is angry at Tigersilly because she went to a chiropractor.
The girl's bent over.
Her chiropractor is a man. He's mad because no man other than her husband should be touching her, and he's just throwing a tantrum over it. Not only did he throw a tantrum, But according to him, he ended up at the hospital because he was so angry that just like his body couldn't contain himself.
My male healthcare practitioners, he wants me to change them.
If you are so upset about something like that to the point that you go to the hospital, you have a problem.
I feel sick, like I red and blood in my eyes because I am so upset, I'm so mad and so angry.
I genuinely don't believe that he ended up at the hospital. And if you did, you need to go see a therapist. So Tigersilly has been giving her clothes away because of course she can't wear it. Later on is on her way to go visit Adnan. And when we check in with Adnan, Adnan shares that he's all mad and upset.
Why make a problem? Have a big mind, not a small like children.
You guys shouldn't be picking men like this. If this is not what you can take, if this is not what you can handle, then why are you putting yourself in those situations? It drives me insane to hear Tigersilly go, oh my God, I can't understand why he's so controlling, while also picking a Muslim to marry. When she's on the plane, she is talking about how she saw a picture of Adnan that he posted on his social media where he just came out of the shower and it was like all steamy and he wasn't wearing a shirt. And she was like, you need to delete this right now because it's not fair that I don't get to post things like that, but you do.
I could not do anything remotely close to what he's doing.
Those are double standards. Adnan didn't want to delete the picture because according to him in Islamic law, men are allowed to show their chest. While it's not forbidden to show your chest as a man, it is frowned upon to show it in public. And if you're posting a photo on Instagram, it's public. So it makes sense that you wouldn't post stuff like that. And that's what upsets me. He also follows rules to his advantage. If it doesn't benefit him, he's not gonna do it. That's what we get for those two. They're gonna see each other on the next episode. And oh, also something that I forgot is that with all the things that I brought, the whole purpose of this trip is to make a baby. So she talks about all these issues and then she goes, yeah, we're gonna go make a baby just because I don't know when my fertile window is, so I just want to take advantage of it. Let's move on to the next couple. Now it's Matilda and Niles' turn. Matilda is heartbroken and the producers are asking her if this is the first time that she hears about Niles not wanting to get married during this trip.
Yes, this is my first time.
I do believe Matilda in regards to that. Niles didn't tell her that he didn't want to get married during this trip. He suggested maybe we should wait. He said things that were not, straightforward like he should have, but he did not tell her, I don't want to get married during this trip.
What do you want me to tell my friends, my pastor, everybody? What do you want me to tell them?
And Niles turns to her and goes, at the expense of everything going wrong, didn't I tell you I didn't want to get married during this trip?
Are you joking with me or what? Is this a prank or what? I don't get it.
Niles, you knew Matilda was planning the wedding. You knew you guys were getting married during this trip.
Matilda, I told you that I couldn't get married on this trip.
He continues to tell her that he never agreed to it, that he never said he was coming here to get married. And yes, maybe you didn't say, hey, I'm coming here to get married. But when she said we're gonna get married, you didn't say, hey, no, we're not gonna get married. You just let her proceed with that. You let her plan the wedding. You let her do all these things.
You came on Saturday, right? 5 days. You didn't tell me anything about...
And Matilda, because she's smart, and she reminds him, you got here 5 days ago. And Niles, of course, says that he was trying to enjoy their time together, that he was just too happy and too excited to see her, so he chose not to tell her.
Did you ever discuss with me that we are not getting married?
In person,
so right now, who is lying?
What do you mean by in person we didn't? You never discussed it at all. So they just keep going back and forth with each other. They're trying to figure out who lied and who didn't. And I just think Niles could have done this in many different ways, and he chose the worst one out of all of them.
Wait a minute, I told her now, hold on, Matilda, I'm not there to plan this wedding yet.
Niles says that Matilda thinks he's lying, and it might certainly look this way. And the producers, this is when they call him out, and they're like, Niles, but you saw her plan the wedding many times, and you never told her not to plan the wedding because you guys were not getting married during this trip. And Niles continues to try to save himself. And the producers keep calling him out. If that is true, do you really think that Matilda would have planned the wedding and went ahead with inviting a bunch of people if that's what you told her? Niles shuts down. He doesn't want to talk anymore. He doesn't want to say anything because, yes, he got caught in a lie. You have been lying to her this entire time. And we know that. And you know that too. He also takes this opportunity to remind us that this is what happens to him.
Sometimes I don't know when I go into a mode where I just don't tell the full truth.
Just so the other person doesn't get extremely angry at him. Niles has completely shifted from I told you to apologizing. They are at the beach having a conversation. Matilda is very composed, and that I'm gonna give to her every single time.
And are you ready to get married?
Well, I can do the knocking.
Everything except for the wedding. Matilda reminds him that the moment he goes to do the knocking ceremony, her family is going to ask him for an actual date.
I will have to see what happens when I get back to the States after this first trip.
I don't think Matilda liked this answer one bit, and she was just like, you know what? I need a second, and she walked away. Niles goes over to Matilda and he again starts apologizing. Matilda leans over his shoulder and she's just like, they're taking all of this in.
I think you have just seen a firsthand example of masking. You know that? Where
I know Niles has been trying to tell us that this entire situation is because of his masking. I'm starting to not necessarily believe it because, again, he had many opportunities to come clean to Matilda and he never did. And then when he did tell her, he made her feel like she was the one at fault. He asked her, would it be better if I'm just like straightforward with you and tell you exactly what I need and what I want? And she's like, yes. Like she would prefer to just hear how it is instead of what he did, where he completely lied.
I'm sorry, and I need to be a little bit more direct from now on.
In her confessional, Matilda shares that she is extremely heartbroken, but she understands what Niles is going through and that she understands that at times it might be difficult for him to share things because of his autism.
But at the same time, I love this man.
Matilda still laying on his shoulder and she's like, I need you to promise me that you're gonna come back for me. And Niles points back to the ring and he's like, you know, this ring was a promise to you that I will be back for you and that it will happen. We will get married. So Matilda does ask Niles.
You said you're going to do the knocking, right?
I am going to do the knocking.
Can you tell my mom?
We'll see how that goes on the next episode. I'm already worried for him because on the preview, I don't know if it's editing. Again, the editors do some crazy stuff sometimes, or if it's actually what happened. But the brothers, they look mad. The entire family was there. If it was me in that situation, my heart would probably come out of my chest. Do you guys think that Vanja already knew they were friends, or do you guys think that they were actually a couple? How do we feel about Bozo now that we have, you know, seen them together? Do you guys really think there's a connection there? Do you guys think that Renee does it on purpose when she mentions Chidi not being able to see something? How do you guys feel about Tigersilly and Adnan? I already shared my thoughts and I would love to hear yours in regards to that. And how do we feel about the Niles and Matilda situation? Do we think that Niles is gonna do well on his knocking the door ceremony? That is going to be all for today, guys. As always, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know your thoughts about this episode, and I will see you guys next time on the next video. Bye.